Greetings, this is me, Kyle, from Inside My Head, Breathe Infinity, Vibration Frequency. See, these are all my apparatus of expression. And today's topic is actually going to simultaneously combine all the different aspects and parts of me, and we're contributing to the wholeness. That's the goal here, contributing to the wholeness. So, again, this is the OneStream.tv, which is a derivative of this particular logo, which starts off through infinity, and we just keep moving it and rotating it and moving it and rotating it. I love to have these symbols in front of me because the subconscious, that's the language of the subconscious, is symbols. So I have to get better at creating, at watching, at consuming symbols that are talking directly to my subconscious. And I'm a baby infant when it comes to understanding and applying. I know that it exists, but applying it and pinpointing it and having some guidance to it, I'm working on. But I do have a better guidance and understanding to manifestation. And today, that's what our topic is about, manifestation. Again, we get into the symbols. Again, I love that infinity symbol. Breathe infinity, vibration frequency. They're all under the same umbrella. But we're going to discuss the smart guy. Yeah, that's what he calls himself, the smart guy. And let me take a look at my alignment here. There we go. The smart guy, he talks about manifestation. He talks about vibration frequency. He discusses the power of the subconscious. And so let's just start this discussion with the smart guy's viewpoint.
Our thoughts create electromagnetic vibrations that brings things to us. So when we're thinking things, we're creating this energy that is vibrational, that is also magnetic, that also brings things into our life. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you.
That's pretty deep. So we're going to go over each and every one of the things he says, how a thought brings an emotion brings a vibration, and a vibration creates a magnet, and the magnet brings things to you. Things as in a noun. So you, with the power of your thoughts, can attract nouns into your life. Nouns include a car, nouns include a house, nouns include a person, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife. Those are all nouns. And your thoughts also can manufacture verbs, get things doing, get people to do things, including yourself. So we're going to go over this, and I'm going to use some examples of my life. So before we get into the examples, let's talk about the world we live in as not necessarily a black man, but as a melanated man. A melanated man who utilizes the energy from the sun, allows it to radiate the skin and create energy. Because some person said a random thing just out of the blue that just has been sticking with me. And she said it over 20 years ago. What if life is all about energy? Yes, the energy that we create with this body, if we don't give it enough energy, the body dies and the spirit leaves. We're dealing with the energy of our houses, our cars. To be able to get society and our world to move needs energy. Satan needs energy too. But I'm digressing. What we're here to talk about manifestation. And so, as we talk about energy and our spirit is the breath. That's the spirit. Accessing our spirituality is utilizing the breath. And that's why this is a breathe infinity discussion too. But I'm going to just read a quote that I heard from my man Seven, and he said he got it from somebody else. They plagiarize our spirituality. They break it into different parts, and they call it entertainment. They call it technology, and they call it science. But we can use this to our advantage by reverse engineering what they do. So let's take another look at the smart guy.
Create electromagnetic vibrations. Our thoughts create electromagnetic vibrations that brings things to us. Now there's subconscious economics, right?
Let's go back to our thoughts brings things to us. And let's try to understand and apply it. I'm going to apply it to my life. I'm going to give some examples so that you can apply it to your life. So I talked about earlier reverse engineering what they stole from us. Perfect example, our navigation system. You know, the navigation system that we use to move around on Google? Well, we create a destination. And in some cases, we give it a timeline. Like, I need to reach this destination by 5 p.m. And then the system goes back and tells you when to leave and what route to take. Well, our subconscious mind works very similar. We see the examples of this navigation system that we use day in and day out. And we become very familiar with how to get around utilizing this application. We can use that example and apply it to our subconscious. You create not only a destination, a goal. Then you set out and give it a little bit of a timeline, but sometimes that timeline may not manifest within your time period because things need timing. So we got to be real flexible sometimes with that timing. But in some cases, we can orchestrate a necessity, a rush job, or urgency. So once again, we understand how to use the navigation system. We put in the destination. So I'm going to give you an example. I sold a resource, and by selling it, I absorbed a potential tax burden. And so I got this amount that I sold it for. They took a certain amount of taxes out. And I'm like, man, it looks like if I don't do my proper due diligence, I may have to pay more money. So I've been telling the universe, I need a tax expert. So I've been calling around, using my contacts to figure out what I'm going to do for 2023. So that became my time management constraint. Taxes of 2023. And so when I got this little number and saw a potential tax burden somewhere around the middle of last year, I set out the motions. What was my goal? What was my destination? To find a tax expert. When 2023 rolled around to 2024, I got a little bit more urgent. And I was a little bit more demanding. Like it was hypothetical last year, but now I'm like, oh, I need a tax expert. That's the programming. That's the subconscious mind. That's the goal. That's the destination that I inputted. And so I've been getting a lot better with what I'm thinking, coming into light. I think about somebody and they call me, they text me immediately. I've been doing that very well. And I kept asking myself, man, I need to, think of $100,000, think of $1 million, think of abundancy, dineros, and let that come immediately. That hasn't been working lately. But in this case, I needed a tax expert to not only save me the money, the possible burden of taxes that'll be due this year, 2024, but to get what I've already given them back. That's what I set out. So I'm having a random conversation with a client of mine. And they're mentioning, hey, I just got my taxes, and we were talking about the death tax and how if you have some property you want to pass it on to your kids in California, they're going to automatically, if you don't do your proper paperwork, they're going to automatically reassess the value. So, if your parents had this property for like 20 or 30 years, they paid maybe a couple of $100,000 for it. And now the property is like worth over like $1.5 million. That's a lot of things that have happened in California. People bought property relatively cheap back then. Some people bought property for $100,000 and it has just skyrocketed to its value today. And so they pay taxes on the $100,000 plus about 3% every year. That's the Proposition 13 by Jarvis that happened in the 80s for you historians. So now they pass along the property to their children, and now the county of Los Angeles reassesses the value at that $1.5 million. And so your taxes, they were maybe $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a year, triple, quadruple to $24,000 a year. That's $2,000 just for taxes alone, let alone if they have a mortgage and they got insurance. So we're talking about the death tax and how you have to form a trust. A trust to put your assets into. Not only do you not have to deal with the probate, like if you don't have it in the trust, it goes to probate. The government gets to take their portion out and then give you, the person, the son, the daughter, the person who basically is passed on the inheritance. They give you about 66% of the value, because the government takes its third. It's somewhere around that, 25, 33. I don't know the exact number, because My mother had a trust. I have a trust. And we are talking about a trust. And she mentioned that she had a tax expert that helped her not only deal with her assets and how it's going to be distributed to her sons and daughter, but how to use the trust to mitigate some tax burdens. And she was giving an example of what she was able to accomplish on her tax form and how he went back into the past and amended other years. And I was like, whoa, okay, hey, man, hey, whoo, that sounds like my language. I've been wishing for some. So, yeah, she gave me the number of the person. His name is Michael. And I'll be definitely sharing his information that you can get in hold of, because we all need the information and to apply it. But, she shared it. I'm thinking, oh, wow, this sounds a good possibility. And the next day, I'm like, well, I'm kind of like talking myself out of it. Well, maybe he's just a regular tax guy. Yeah, I'll get around to it. No, I told myself, go with the original feeling when she told you. Use that feeling instead of talking yourself out of it. Call this person right away. Call them, talk to them. So the bottom line is, not only is he going to save me that possible burden that if I went and didn't have my information and filed taxes in the wrong way, wrong meaning that I got to pay money instead of getting money back, I was able to not only offset that, but once again, I'm able to get the money that I paid initially when I sold this asset. So that was stage one of like, wow, hey, I manifested that. I was thinking that. I brought on a person that dealt with my immediate problem. You're like, okay, well, I could do that. You call around, you get recommendations. Oh, yeah, anybody could do that. You just got lucky and had a timing conversation. Okay, but here's the level 2 game. Here's how in my case, here's how I know that I manifested, my thoughts found the exact person, the navigation system, recalculate. I didn't have to. So we're talking and, somehow, I tell him what school I went to. I went to UC Santa Barbara. And he goes, oh, you got a Maucho or Gaucho? He couldn't remember the exact name of our mascot. It's Gauchos, but he was close enough. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. That's not a random name that most people know, a Gaucho, How do you know about a Gaucho? And then he goes ahead and says, hey, my daughter went to Santa Barbara. I'm like, really? Oh, my God, that's awesome. That's great. And then, we were talking about baseball, me and him. He played baseball, I played baseball, and then I was saying, yeah, I did some stupid stuff. I lost my baseball scholarship, and then I fell into track. And it was a blessing in disguise, especially in the long run. I was excellent in baseball. I was mediocre in track, but I learned a lot about track and energy and running the 400 meters and hitting the wall. And it really has been applying to my life. The older I get, the more track is becoming like a slingshot to self-identity, self-energy to me. So anyways, I was mentioning how I messed up my baseball opportunity scholarships and I ran track but I learned a lot. And then he goes, hey, my daughter ran track too. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So we're cut off the same cloth. So this is how we get into the second and third derivative. This is a math terminology. But not only did I get my initial goal accomplished, but now I got Breathe Infinity. You know, daughter runs track up north, connected to athletes or people who are running track and possibly could use the expertise that I developed from Breathe Infinity. And half of the reason why I'm able to develop the Breathe Infinity, because I ran the 400 meters and I know what happens to the body when it runs out of energy. Yeah, they call that when you're running the 400 meter, you got the last 70 meter and they say the bear jumps on you. Well, the proper scientific term is that you had to have an oxygen debt. And your emergency energy, your anaerobic energy, that's fast, quick, sugary, but doesn't have a large storage tank. That's when you get that depleted. Like you're running, you're forcing your body, you're putting yourself in a state of emergency. You know, the oxygen can't pump fast enough. So you go to an anaerobic instead of aerobic energy source. You got two. You got aerobic. That's basically fat burning slowly. Oxygen is involved in the process. So energy from oxygen, energy without oxygen. That's anaerobic. With oxygen, aerobic. Anyways, when you're going around that last 70 meters and you get that bear and you just, you look like a broken down car, you know, and everything is getting tight and heavy. Well, you're no longer in aerobic energy, you're in anaerobic energy, and you got an oxygen debt. And so the fast emergency energy has ran out. So now your oxygen debt, and then you ran out of emergency energy, and that's what happens to the body when you get tight and the bear comes on you and you have ran out of energy. And it's one of the most excruciating, discomforting pains after a race because there's nothing you can do. You can lay down, you can sit down, you can stand up, and it is just extraordinarily uncomfortable. Extraordinarily uncomfortable. I'm getting the uncomfortable tight feeling because I just remember. But if you run the race right and you find yourself getting into the zone, in the zone you get free energy, and then you come around the back straight, you get energized. You don't feel that way if you run the race properly. So anyways, to make a long story short, I know I'm a little divergent here with the message. Breathing, I discovered a technique of how to get more oxygen and stay in aerobic energy longer so you don't have to deplete all the emergency energy by using the diaphragm and really getting more oxygen in. So you take less. So you might be, instead of like zero aerobic and then 100% anaerobic, you might be able to just create more of like a 50-50. You know, that means this energy that's low in storage lasts longer. To make a long story short, my science that I've developed with the Creator could benefit his daughter's organization. And his daughter's organization can benefit me. That's the level 2 game. And they already got the marketing and promotion from what they're doing already done. That's what I need. I have the product, but I don't have the marketing, the promotion. I'm no longer in those sports athletes field. So I manifested. God lets me know, the Creator lets me know that I manifested by giving those synchronicities. Oh, it's just a coincidence that his daughter went to Santa Barbara and his daughter ran track and I know the coach, and that was, if his son was still coaching there, I don't know the years that his son was coaching, of my coach and his son, we went to school together, we ran track together, and now he's, again, do you see the synchronicity here? That's vibration frequency. That's the magnet. And here's the best thing about the magnet. The best thing about the magnet, it lives in a timeless dimension. Your subconscious lives in the timeless dimension. Because I had to lay some groundwork for the client to even talk to me about that, to get the information at the proper time that I needed it. Right when my W-2s was coming back from my gig, my side gig, which entails is that according to the expert, the tax expert, putting in a trust, I can get that money back too. So all you people that don't have a dependence or don't have a deduction in property, theoretically, you can get a trust, and theoretically, you may reduce your tax burden significantly. I'm just saying. And that's something else that we're going to discuss as a possibility, because that's how we got on the expertise of his daughter, because she's putting together more of a curriculum to teach people how to efficiently use the trust for the living. Not necessarily the dead, that's what we create the trust for, but for the living, so you can maximize your revenue, your assets, the dollars that you're creating. Retain more of it by reducing your tax burden. So that's just one example of how the subconscious mind, when you put the right thoughts, you focus, you put the right feelings out, the vibrations, it creates the magnet, and it does all the details. Well, you know what? Hey, buddy, you know what? We realize that he's got that breathing stuff, and, God, he needs some marketing and promotion. He should be about the right people, around the people, and we can just tie this up, man. We can do 2 or 3 loose ends with just one particular home run. Man, this is like a 3-run home run. That's how your subconscious works. I'll give you another example. But before I give you another example, I want to kind of illustrate what I've learned or what I should be asking for. That's like my genie, my subconscious genie. Instead of asking for the money, I ask for the nouns to get me the money, the person, place, or thing, or the verbs to get me the money. Instead of asking for the money, ask what I need to put together what I already have that will get me the money. The Breathe Infinity, it's a gold mine. Gold mine. But so to make that a little bit better, let's take a look at the roots of a tree. Oh God, the roots, the soil, the foundation, the infrastructure. Man, I look at this, man. This is deep. When you put a seed inside of the soil that's in complete darkness, all alone by itself in that soil, getting those nutrients. Oh, that just profound, beautiful. Profound, beautiful. Now, I missed the graphics that talk about the tree and talk about the fruit that bears from the tree. See, I have always been like wishing for the fruit. Like, hey, give me some apples. You know what I'm saying? God, bring me some apples. And, what we usually do is ask for the noun, in this case, the money. It's like, if we're going to ask for the money, why are we putting our energy into the money? We need to put our energy in what gets us the money. Let's look at the tree. The fruit is the money. The fruit is what I'm taking off the tree, I'm putting in my mouth, and I'm getting the nutrients. That's the money. Do we water the fruit? Do we put water on the actual apple? We put our energy into the soil that has the seed. The seed in this nature is the products that I already have created. The breathe infinity, the one stream. That's why it's one stream, vibration, frequency. These are things that have already been planted and they're already sprouted, but they haven't grown to their full potential. I can't do it by myself. It's impossible. I need other experts in their field to bring together what we have into a puzzle. So we water the soil, the foundation. And as that soil grows, we allow it, we give it its nutrients, we see it to its fruition, we give it its attention. That's all subconscious power. And then it grows and we eat from the fruit. That's that apple and Adam and Eve, right? But Eve wasn't supposed to eat the apple. Oh, I'm diverging again. I'm off course. Please. There we go. The trees, the roots, the growth. But the roots are connected to Mother Earth. And it grows through the energy of the sun. The masculine, the feminine. Look how the tree grows. Listen to the foundation. And it's beautiful. And now it's time to eat the apple. It's time to bear the fruit. I can taste it. Those are the emotions that are necessary for the subconscious mind to create that magnet. And that's what I manifest. I didn't do it all by myself. See, the subconscious is a liaison to God. It's the interface to God. You don't necessarily lose a direct contact to God, but you need like a translator. You got this limited, supposedly, isolated, supposedly, feeble brain. Supposedly, that's us. That's this consciousness with something that's timeless. Do we have time? Supposedly, timeless, infinite, all-knowing. I mean, these are almost like two polarity opposites. We need something that's in between, that's connected to both aspects of us. The subconscious is connected to the Godness in us, but it lives inside of us. So that's our liaison to the Creator. So instead of watering the fruit, I realize that I get what I need much faster, and I don't keep bumping my head against the wall. Oh, I need some money. I needed a person, place, or thing, a person, a tool that allowed me to bring what I already have and create some artistry from it, bring it together. I don't know how to bring all those parts together. It's why I have to be interdependent on working with someone else. Can't do it by yourself. I don't care if I can animate, I can film, I can edit, I can do technical direct. I know the technical parts of it and put these machines all together. I can do all of that. But when I try to do it all by myself, I'm inefficient. Creative and technical are logical and creative and when I switch from one to another, it takes me a while. I lose efficiency. I'm not as efficient when I'm trying to go from logical, technical to creative real quickly. So I need somebody else to work on the technical and get the machines together so I can stay involved in what I'm doing here, the production. That's the thing at Vibration Frequency Studios. That's what we do for you. You come on in, you have your outline, your script, you give it over there to the engineer, you align your guests, tell them when to show up, bam, lights, camera, action, we do the rest. We set up the shots. We set up all your streaming. You got the lights. Just turn up on the lights. You got the green screen. You got the background. We take the technology away so you can focus on your art. And the reason why I created that, because I know that when I'm doing my art, I just want to turn on buttons. I don't want to be adjusting and trying to figure shit out and problem solving. No, turn on the lights, turn on the cameras. Hey, the sound is working. Hit record. I created this for me, but you as the client can benefit. What is that thing? I'm not only the customer, I'm the president too. That was that hair tonic shit, whatever. Anyways, one time I digressed once again. But water the soil and allow that to grow into the fruit. Instead of asking for the money, I ask for the connections, the nouns, the personal expertise to help me sew my puzzle and put the pieces together. And that is much efficient to getting your dreams to come true. Ask for the parts that you need. Now, I'm going to conclude and tell you how the subconscious mind lives in the timeless dimension. I had a partner. He was basically squatting on the studio. We couldn't work together. We had a lease together. I offered him I offered him 5 figures to walk away. I couldn't do anything with him. He couldn't do anything with me. But he was a hating. Offered him 5 figures. He said no. I did a breathing exercise. It's called theta breathing. You breathe a certain way, it gets you in a theta mindset. Your theta mindset has a direct line to your subconscious that lives in a timeless dimension. So I did this breathing exercise. I got into the theta, zoom. I feel like I'm in a dream state. Like I'm in my room and I'm looking and around. And I'm going, wait, where am I? Oh, that's right. I'm in my room. Because I'm also in the cosmos as well. I'm in infinite world. So I'm in dreamland. They say our children up to 7 years old, that's the way they live all the time. That's why when you be like telling them a couple times, they hear you, but they're not really registering you because they're somewhere else too. They're still in the area of the womb and the magic that takes place there. They remember. So I got a direct line with my subconscious, and my subconscious says, hey, I need you to purchase some video. It's video of him, my partner, just making him look bad. Let's just put it this way. I shot a video, but I had a second camera angle that somebody else shot, somebody else owned. So the subconscious said, hey, bro, I need you to buy that. And I don't want you to buy it cheaply. I want you to give a fair market price and then go a little bit above. I know you're a video guy. I know that you can negotiate a good price and basically almost get it for free. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to pay top dollar for it. I was so connected that I knew there wasn't a guess, there wasn't a belief, there wasn't a like hope. There was like, I knew it would work. So I followed the directions. I was truly connected to the subconscious. 3 weeks later, my former partner, he gets arrogant and says, hey, I want that footage. Because now I'm taking the footage and I'm showing it to the market world. It's making him look bad. He wants a copy of that footage for himself. The other guy who I bought the footage from, he's like, no, man, you can't have that for free. If you want it, you got to buy it. Why? Because Mike just paid me, 4 figures for it. I'm not going to give it to you for free. If you want it, you pay 4 figures for it. He wouldn't back down. They got into an altercation in the studio. He was renting part of the studio, the guy that had the video. I wasn't there. I had took all my stuff out. I wasn't anywhere there. They got into a fight. Obviously, my former partner got his ass kicked. I don't know. But the next day, not only did he take all his stuff out of here, he sent a letter to the leasing department wanting out of the lease. So I got the building, I got the studio free and clear because I created a value for the video that the video guy who I purchased it from wouldn't budge on. My former partner felt entitled to it. That energy clashes. It does something where he feels inferior or threatened that he has to move his stuff out and write a letter to the leasing company demanding to get out of the lease. Magic. So my subconscious mind not only was living in a timeless dimension, but it was like, it was like the infinite chess game. Well, if you do this move and that move, he will do that move, that move, that move, that move, and then that will be, he'll get his ass kicked, checkmate. That's how the subconscious is working. It's the ultimate chess maker, chess player. Not only does it know the moves, it created the board. So I know I'm long-winded. I hope that this expression of my experience with the subconscious mind and the desire to manifest, I hope that connects with you and it inspires you to work on your own manifestation destiny. I'm going to continue these type of examples and the synchronicity that shows up, not only in my life, but shows up in your life, so that we can all start developing our subconscious power. I want to thank the smart guy for sparking this conversation, because the things he said stimulated a lot inside of me, especially when we're going to continue when he talks about how the companies, top 500 companies, the top 5, all they want to do is create products that control the subconscious mind of mankind. Now, he was talking about melanated people. I expanded it to mankind, but we're going to continue this discussion with the smart guy and really utilize these examples so that you too can manifest what's inside your head. And that I guess that means that we should conclude with what's inside. Let me find the right one. There we go. I guess that means we can conclude what's inside your head. Yes. Thank you very much for Breathe Infinity inside my head. This is me, Kyle. We look forward to checking out more of our, I wouldn't call them entertainment products, but it's under the line of entertainment. I call it manifestation products, manifest products, soul products that comes into the form of entertainment. Anyways, me, Kyle, I'm out. Thank you for allowing me to share your time with you. We'll see you next time.